Jammer. That's what I do. Twitch. That's what we do. Yeah, Twitch and everything else.
Alex,
Oh my God. Anywhere I can embarrass
wanna
myself.
You want to join the next round of the tournament, Big Al? The 4,000 people racing to level up in World of Warcraft in 2 hours. Whoever has the highest level wins the Hand of the Citadel, which is worth like $700,000.
No.
The addiction is too strong. I can't go back. It's like those addicts who go through rehab.
I don't want to touch WoW again.
And then they do too much and OD afterwards. It's a sad story, but like you World of Warcraft, man, you don't want that. The risk is real. You know?
Give me that. You go back to Classic and you realize how good you had it.
Oh God.
Shit.
I remember the hours I spent here when I was 15.
This isn't as good as I remember it.
So you have bills now, that's why, asshole. Shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Fuck, I remember UO Ultima Online days. Does anybody remember the original Ultima Online?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Way back when with all the bugs and glitches and whatnot. And then, yeah, every MMO has them when they come out. But anyway, oh wow. So long ago.
So many of those little games.
Just real quick, I guess, let's go around here. What was everybody's favorite MMO, Dobransky?
I only ever really played Lord of the Rings online.
Oh,
that was a good one.
There's one, yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Mine was
It's still going.
I don't doubt it. I mean, fuck, I think they're all still going if they can. If they can make money. Some died out.
Yeah.
Is Asheron's Call still around?
No, I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, nobody really knows, eh? Holy crap. What about you, Cody? What was your favorite?
I mean, probably WoW, but like I've played so many. I honestly really like the Star Wars.
Oh, that's a good one too.
The older, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish it didn't
Sweater.
I want to say let's
I
not discount modded ones like the Neverwinter Nights engine MMO. If anybody knows about that sort of shit, like by all means throw that in there. Sorry, what were you saying?
The Warhammer Age of Reckoning was probably my favorite.
I heard that was good. I did actually hear that was good.
Ooh, that would have been
I
good.
love that. It was so good.
One of my buddies who
So
had
upset
not
about
played MMOs in a long time was like, I got back into the addiction. And that was what sucked him in. He couldn't help it. He heard it was like Warhammer and good, so he was like, yeah.
Oh man, shit! I'm looking it up now. I wish I played that.
Yeah, he lost about 4 months to it.
Yeah.
There's a fan server they had going. I don't know how live it is, but you can play it still on a private server.
What about you, Summer? What'd you like?
EA.
Oh, I played WoW religiously.
Like several hundred days played in game.
It's gotta be like thousands.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Do you have any strat guides and shit? Honest question.
No, I only ever read them. I never wrote.
Did you ever write them?
No.
Okay. What about you, Rick? What'd you like?
Guild Wars 2.
Oh damn!
Ooh,
There's an old classic. Shit. Funny story actually. The old lady, she goes out to this conference for EB Games. She's a manager at the time. This is like 10, 12 years ago, and there's a guy there who takes a shine running a booth. Of course, he has a bunch of Guild Wars copies that nobody wants. So he's like, "You want these?" And she's like, "Sure." Comes home with, I shit you not, 6 copies of Guild Wars expansion packs. I can't remember. There was like 2 copies of 3 different expansion packs, and then there was 2 copies of the actual game. Just here you go. Here's eight boxes. You know. So.
Wow.
I never played the first one. I only played number 2. And when I bought it, I bought the special edition of it. So I have this. There's a race called the Char. It's like a real beastly horned race.
Okay.
And it got like this whole like figure with it, and it's pretty badass.
All I remember
just sits on my shelf.
Oh, sweet! Right on. You were really into it then, eh?
I was very into it.
What about you, Benny? What'd you play?
I don't really know any MMOs.
You're
Dang,
in
you look
college,
like the
aren't you?
MMO guy.
I don't believe that.
You're in post-sec? You're in
I
post-secondary?
mean, I
Studying
played
hard?
MMO Light Division 2. That's about it, though.
Fair enough.
Bro, I'll send you a RuneScape referral link. You know.
Yeah.
What about you, Sean? Did you play anything? What'd you play?
No, I'm on Benny's side of this. I did not actually play any of them.
You never
I
played
don't know
any
why
of
the
them?
Sean,
timing just never worked out for me. I mean, I just was always running around. I think grad school kind of sucked up a lot of that time.
I have expected you
Like
to
right,
whip
right
out
when it was all
Evercrack.
like, right when it was all getting big. I remember World of Warcraft coming out. I remember a lot of these games coming out. It was like I'd love to have time, and I just never got around to it. I never had the time to get it done because I was just always fucking doing stupid shit.
Hey man, doing stuff in the real world is a valid reason not to play a video game.
That's exactly
but
why
is
I
it
stopped
though?
playing.
But is it?
Well, I mean, depends on what
Like
you're doing in the
this.
real world.
Wait,
Hitler could have probably done with a copy of SimCity. I'm just saying.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure there were guys that were using our supercomputing power to run some pretty amazing games in there because there were guys that just lived in our lab. Like, I mean, there was a guy literally we found sleeping underneath like the desks. Like he had put a bunch of desks into a cubicle and hidden himself.
Shit.
So, like, I'm pretty sure they
He
were
had a
doing a
raid
lot.
night.
Yeah.
Raid night for sure. I remember I got disconnected in the middle of battling Ragnaros, and I lost my spot in the raid. And then the boots I was waiting for forever dropped, and I was next to get them, but because I got disconnected, I couldn't get back in. I lost it, and I was so fucking mad. I was so mad. I never raided again after that.
They lost me that day. All right,
Man,
sweet.
that's the shit I hated about MMOs. Like grinding for shit forever and not getting the one drop.
You ever played Pokemon? I hear
Yeah.
there's a bit of an industry there. Just seriously, play people. Holy
He
crap!
plays a lot of Pokemon.
You played a lot of Pokemon, like Pokemon Go.
He still plays Pokemon.
No, what's the new one that's coming out? The remake of Diamond and Pearl.
Those
No, that already came out.
Oh shit.
Now you got Arceus coming out. That's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, I want to play those ones. Those were one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's coming out, what, Friday? Thursday?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's like an open world Pokemon. essentially.
Yeah, it's not your standard
It looks
game. It's like a
terrible.
side
Eh?
game.
Have you
The,
seen
po-
the
the Pokemon
screenshots?
can actually beat the shit out of you if you're not careful.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's
They will kill
great.
you. And you throw like wooden Pokeballs, I think, because it's like
Yeah, it's supposed to be in the
3,000 years
past.
in the past or something.
Jesus.
You've never known fear until you played VR Pokemon.
Sounds fun.
And terrifying.
Last thing you hear is Pikachu coming up behind you.
Then you watch a speedrunner tear through it, and you're like, "Wow, this game." They didn't, every single speedrunner that I've seen playing through every single VR game has absolutely destroyed the game. I was watching the Hitman VR game today, and the guy's just walking through the level, just getting things done. There's no animations through which the NPCs can see you doing things, so it's VR, right? You have a syringe in hand, and if somebody sees you with the syringe, then sure, it's like, they'll become suspect and aware. But the AI is retarded, so you get away with a lot. Like, you walk right up next to him and press the button to activate it, and there's no actual interaction with you having to jab a person. You don't have to grab them. You don't have to jab them. It just does it, and you keep walking. That's it. It's cheesy, old-ass interactions. There's no animations for them. And any animations that there might be, you can skip. So when you're climbing over stuff, it's a cinematic that you skip. So again, nobody sees you climbing over a balcony to become suspect of that man over there climbing over a balcony. Just doesn't happen. So yeah. I watched a guy take out 3 targets in a whole like dock area. Like, the environments are very nice, actually. I mean, they probably look really. I haven't actually tried the VR. We own it. My kid bought it for himself, but like, it just didn't interest me to get into it. Over watching a speedrun and seeing if it's terrible, and from what I can tell, it is. So yeah, it's funny when it comes to speedruns. I was watching the super hot speedruns. Those are ridiculous. If you've not seen Super Hot, the game is amazing. I had to buy it and I loved it. I'm not a speedrunner, but every speedrunner that I've seen playing it absolutely destroys it. The game can be finished in something like 9 minutes. It took me hours.
Shit.
So it's just one of
Speedrunners
those.
are amazing.
Yeah, man. I love watching speedrunners just to learn how to play the game.
9 minutes.
Yeah, man. It's sick. And that's with load times and shit like that, you know. So
Crazy.
it's pretty crazy when you learn the patterns, and it makes a case for randomly spawning your enemies too. Let's face it, adding some variety to the game. Anyhow, I've taken up enough time yammering and babbling and whatnot. But with that all said, this is a gaming stream, so why not? On that note, though, welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Black Thumb. Continuing on, and yes, in case you're wondering, we did get that shit patched in about 45 minutes. Had it all figured and patched, and the sort of what's the word? The triage afterwards, talking about how it happened and whatnot. So, yeah, all's well that ends well. To continue on from last session, we were just on the verge of a initiative count. Yolandu stuck in a rather narrow space inside amidst some mountain craggies leading up away towards the sky overhead, and a large weaselly like a furred lizard looking creature overhead that seemed to be crawling down towards what it eyed as possibly dinner or a snack. That said, we also have the rest of the coterie that is the gangsters turned race team turned rebel warriors, situated underneath Yolandu as they watch a cultist of this strange place, this strange derelict undercroft, to the manner of a race legacy whom they have investigated upon in search of a new platform, hoping to find themselves a new race vehicle of some sort to overcome their current need for something. With that all said, this giant yarn ball of a situation has them all facing off against an evil that at this point they clearly want nothing to do with, as they're attempting to escape from the hold of this place wholesale. With the cultists facing off against them, they face upon what fate might have in store. Meanwhile, their companions, a stitch away in time, that is Barium and Orion, have found themselves in the company of the Vizier Mansour, who is at this point leading them out, slowly making their way towards the surface, coming back upon their van, and I believe that's about where we left off. And with that, I'll turn it over to Sean to deliver us whatever he had recorded from last session, and we'll continue from there.
Sure. So, looking at the start of last session, there were some earthquakes. We're looking at Bjorn, Sorth, and Yolandu in the garage after having come up to the floor. Everyone's making a dex check, which everyone completely failed the fuck out of. Bjorn with a 2, Yolandu with a 5, and Sorth with a nat 1. Yolandu got hit with a tire for some damage. Sorth gets a frame dropped on him. Bjorn is knocked out. Yolandu can't seem to help Bjorn. Sorth is breaking out of the fallen frame, and then Sorth then heals Bjorn. Bjorn moves into a doorway to protect himself. He hears a breeze coming from the stairs, the hallway area. He lets Yolandu and Sorth know about the sounds in the air, and they see a panel on the wall in a hallway. Sorth is going to guide them out. There's a green goo spilling out towards them. The goo is following them down the hallway before ebbing back. In the tunnel, 25 feet longer, and then it goes into a set of stairs. There's some natural light up ahead, and there's a flume of some sort providing air, some snow in air, and some drips of green. There's also a set of double doors. Bjorn thinks the climb would be a little rough to get up through the flume. Sorth wants to use a grappling arrow and hits, but he's not sure how good it is. Yolandu then starts to climb. The flume continues on for a way, and up the flume he sees a weasel or something rather large and furry poking its head into the flume. The voice at the far end of the hallway is yelling in Kalashite invader or interloper. There's a cultist assailant that's pointing a finger. We cut over to Laz, who's carrying Sophie. Book falls from her grasp, and he's running up the gangway and a tunnel to the surface. He heard the other alkaloid giving chase. He put Sophie in a frame that was recently vacated by Sorth, previously in the garage, and then heads towards the sound to see what it is. Cut over to Barium, Orion, and the Vizier Mansour and the mercenaries. Mansour wants to know if they are ready to ride. Orion kisses the bus. Barry says he's got the Mechanite engine running. He explains how the engine works. Orion has a chit chat with the engine, and the engine says that Sophie is nearby. Back to the hall. The animal is climbing down the hall at Yolandu. Bjornsword and Laz are about to engage the Alkalite, and that's where we were getting ready to roll initiative when Dooley got called away to save the Earth.
Save the Earth, he did.
In case anyone was wondering, it was a bad last-minute update. Everything else had been tested, and I had one little low-hanging fruit that I'd stuck in there. And that update failed, and because it failed, the last update in the whole set of updates failed, which was to update a table, and as a result, all updates failed. All the sites failed to load because the user table was looking for, or the code was looking for an element of the user table that wasn't there. So that was terrible. These cameras tweak just slightly because I'm super bright. Pardon me. Right. Some minis out here. Whoop. It's been a while since I had everybody's characters out. Did we get you through Yolandu's turn? Yeah, we did. And the Weasel and the Cultist? Or did we drop off on my turn? We dropped off on my turn. The question is quickly becoming what the devil I did with the Black Thumb minis. And I'm at a bit of a loss here. I don't even know where Laz is. And he should be right here, if anywhere.
It's hard to lose a guy that size.
And yet, here I am.
Maybe he's still on the stairs.
Yeah, right? Honestly.
Just
What
the
have I done?
consciousness that left.
What? Oh, this is a problem. I have absolutely no blithering idea what the devil I've done with the cup of characters, let alone the characters. I have several friggin' halflings, all the guards Laz was fighting. What the devil have I done with you guys? Oh, here we go. There we go. Alrighty. So Yolandi was up in the crevice.
Alex looks so small in the background.
All right.
Just stay like that.
Leaning. Just leaning them together, House of Cards style. Damn. All right. So you guys are here, as is evidenced by there's Yolandu. Wait, Sorth? Bjorn. Laz. Bedium is not here. All right. Wait, no, that's no. That's Yolandu. Sweet.
I'm gonna get a beer.
Right on. Steady as she goes. Camera panning against. Show you guys up top on the little ledge area, heading up them steps. To the one side, I guess I should actually extend this, and then that is it.
Whoa.
Heading as such, and finally. Throw this guy just to the entryway here. So you guys can see him there. Of course, this thing turns this way. So steady as she goes. This is walled off, So you've got a bit of a haul, as it were. This thing's, what did I say last time? 20 feet wide or 15 feet?
It was 25.
Terrific.
Back to the note. Oh no, tunnel 25 foot long. Sorry, I don't have a width.
So steady as she is. With Yolanda up in the flume area, squeezing up in top there. We see the cultist facing off on the other side. He takes a look at you guys. Are we on my turn here yet? Just before Laz. He takes a look at his opposition and pulls back. He's going to double move back down the hall and around the corner. Disappearing from view as he does so. I suppose I'll do this sort of thing. Oh my goodness, the camera. Work with me, work with me. Oh yeah. Bam. Alright, there we are. So, with that said, he pulls back, runs away from you, leaving you in the hallway there. You can hear shouting as he echoes away down the hall. And the camera pans in upon Laz.
So I came around the corner. Now I've just seen my partners in crime here now, right? I just came around the corner and was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
And who's... Yolanda was up in the...
Up in there.
Is
Yeah.
up in the tunnel, right? And then sitting down with in front of me are Sorth, who looks normal, and what do you call it? Looks like shit, right?
Yeah, Bjorn
Bjorn
looks,
looks like
so
shit.
hot.
What the fuck are you guys doing here, and what the hell is going on?
We found a way out. We need to get out of here. The place is collapsing.
I have Sophie in the truck back there, man.
Then what? Where'd you find her?
Other room. There was a mirror. She came out of it. They tried to take her hand. Like, whatever. We need to talk about it later. What the hell is going on here? And who is that dude?
He woke up with me. He was brought back as well.
You know which way's out?
Up.
That narrows it down.
There's light through the tunnel we were gonna climb.
We can go back out through the garage and pick up Sophie on the way.
Was there anyone there?
Sophie?
And you're sure there's an exit this way?
That's how I got in.
Then
How you guys got in?
I don't know how I got in. I was brought back down below.
All right, let's just get the shit out of here. Grab whoever that is and let's go.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'll follow.
Okay.
Sorth is gonna yell up to Yolanda. You can come down now.
Okay. Now I'd like to go the rope.
No heads up about the thing that's following you down the shaft.
Nope, you guys don't need to know about it because we're running, right? You don't need to know that I'm retreating from my badger.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna lead him back towards the garage to grab Sophie.
Sorth is gonna keep his bow out and kind of keep watch behind us to make sure nobody comes back around that corner and follows us.
All right, that sounds good. So keeping an eye behind you down the hall. You guys are continuing that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds fine. See if I can get this fucking light going. There we go. Right. Very nice. Rex just going off in the chat. Yeah. As you guys start to proceed down the hall some further, marching order was what?
Sorth is in the rear.
Liza's leading.
Okay.
Be somewhere in the middle.
Sounds good. So you guys make your way out towards the corner in a single double movement. Yolanda, you can drop down out of the flume. The weasel scrabbles down towards you as you squeeze out. I'm assuming you're squeezing out and following your friends?
Yeah.
All right. The weasel scrabbles its way down towards you, but it's got a ways to go. It slides a little bit, but maintains its control without descending too quickly. You manage to escape it as you drop down out of the flume to the floor below. Your boots clatter, echoing around the stone hallway as you strike the floor. Getting to your feet, you make your way after your companions, who are disappearing against the dark corner, to appear again, their silhouettes holding shine from whatever light source sits around just the bend up ahead. As the bunch of you make your way towards the light source, facing out towards the torches, being held by a group of mustering figures, you can see the lot of them begin to retreat from where you're situated as a bolt of flame sails past, striking the wall
Told you we should
behind you.
climb.
As you look around the bend for the moment, like I say, the shine strikes upon you. One of the figures up ahead, as the group of them retreats, releases a firebolt. It sails through the air, searing against the air as it flashes for a moment past you and strikes into the wall at the back of the hall. We'll maintain same initiative order. The cultists are about 50 feet away. Throw down a couple figures here for you. Hi there. Camera pulls back to show the whole of this. And then from there, bring it around to there. So there we are. Right on. As you guys are making your way over towards the corner there, we'll lower that wall down. You can see past it. There we are. See past it like that? Yes, you can. As you guys are running past there. There we are. Yeah, that's difficult. Run this down to here. There we are. As you guys are making your way towards, as I was saying, you get into the corner space here. I'm assuming you want to take some cover, actually. You want to do single moving to there. So you've got that sort of mustering at the edge. And Laz, you're up.
So, given that bolt just sailed past, I know I've got Sork behind me. I'm just moving straight at him.
Okay. So
How much can I cover?
Hey? Oh, actually.
How much can I cover?
So I'm not sure what your movement is, but it's a 50-foot space between you and them.
I got 40 feet.
All right. Yeah, like you say, there's it's an open hall with the crates midway and the stairwell on the other side, but yeah, they're sitting at literally just 50 feet at the end of the hall. You know what? These guys are going to be making their way up the stairs. So technically one of them is going to be within range. We'll take that. Yeah, we'll put these two guys in range.
Yeah, Laz is gonna go for the closest one he can get to. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go to the further one that I can get. There's two that I can get to. I'm gonna go to the further one, in the hopes that somebody behind me can pick up the scraps.
That's fair. All right. Getting up towards the edge there, you see the rubbleless stairs. As the whole of the place gives another shake, you come in upon this guy at the side. The whole of this place is shaking slightly as you try your best to maintain your balance and stand your ground. As you close the distance upon the cultist, the other one behind him looks wide-eyed towards. He babbles something in Kalashite to the extent of, "We have to make our escape. The place is coming down." And you what?
I mean, Laz is going for broke here. I mean, he is in a rage and battle axe out and going to town here.
As you close the distance upon.
They're between us and picking up Sophie and getting the hell out of here.
Let's hear all about it.
All right, here we go. Can't see my dice. 12 plus 7, 19.
19 hits. As you sail in upon him, light on your feet, swinging your blade mightily.
And we are going to drop 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 2, so 12 points of damage.
He stumbles backwards from the blade strike. The whole of him opened up as he drops to the ground. He looks up at you from the prone position he is bleeding out in before expiring altogether.
Am I close enough to use my backswing on cultist number 2?
Yes.
We're going to give that a shot. Ooh, 9 plus 7, 16?
Just hits.
I'll take it.
No, he'll take it.
3 plus 4 is 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 damage on the second one.
Bringing a backswing around, the fellow manages to catch the flat of the blade mostly. You carve off a section of his scalp as he screams in pain. Blood flashes through the air as ferocity flashes in your eyes. Pulling your axe back against into a stance with both hands on the haft, you hold yourself mountain-like, stoic, and steady. As the fellow stumbles away from your blade. Do you have anything else left?
So for Great Weapons Master, with a critical hit or reduced to 0 hit points, make 1 melee weapon attack as a bonus. So that gives me a third after killing the first guy?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to try and take the rest of that scalp off then. That's more like it. 16 plus 7, 23 to hit.
That'll smoke him.
12 and it rolled over. 2 plus 4, 6 plus 2 is 8.
Very nice. With your backswing coming through, cleaving off a piece of him, you quickly find the haft, crack him in the back of the skull, which causes a small geyser that pops the consciousness right out of him. As he falls to the ground, you realize he's dead before he hits it. As you look up towards the remaining adversary, the camera pulling back to show him standing on the stairs with 2 blades at the ready, he simply looks up the stairs, and the camera pans to show Sorth in behind you. As the whole of the place continues to rumble up ahead, Sorth, you standing aside Bjorn, see down the hall, the whole of the place dripping with debris and green goop.
It's pretty much just Laz up the hall now, right? Like I don't see any other enemies.
You can see the this fellow on the stairs facing off against him.
Oh, okay. Is there like a wall or anything beside him or behind him?
The wall behind him is about 10 feet away from him.
It's a little too far. Okay. I still want to try it. I want to see if I'm gonna try and pull out the one of my bone bows. Wait, is he medium sized?
He is.
Cool. Always wanted to try this thing. So I'm gonna pull out one of my bone bows and try to pin him to the ground just behind himself.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk up casually, the 30 feet, and then just fire at him.
You close the distance easily enough, finding a decent angle against the wall behind him. The camera panning to the one side, showing just in behind you where you stand, lined up against your opposition, and releasing the shot. The camera pans wildly, trucks wildly in to show your opposition suddenly gets stapled against as it pierces through his shoulder, and we hear a loud, disgusting squelch of his flesh as he, a moment later, finds himself pinned to the bricks of the wall behind him. The crack of stone is unmistakable as it splashes out from behind him. The iron-like material of the spiked arrow piercing in through and holding him in place. He dangles there helplessly for a moment, his wide eyes looking ahead, as the mountain of a man before him suddenly seems to also realize what's just happened. The camera pulls back around, finding high purchase amidst the stairwell overhead, and looking down upon the dark silhouettes to show Sorth and Bjorn alongside their companion in the opposition. What's next? You got one shot off.
Yeah, so he took the 8 damage off that one.
Yeah.
And then falling pretty quickly after that, I'm just going to shoot a standard arrow at him.
Okay.
Just to finish him off, hopefully. Okay, so yeah, definitely 29 to hit. That gives me one of you. And 20 damage.
As the arrow pierces through his skull, splitting it, it causes a dramatic geyser of gore as he ceases to move altogether, ceases to everything altogether.
Pleased with the effect of that arrow. Sorth is just gonna lower the bow and just wait for his next turn.
As the camera pulls around to show from Laz's perspective up the stairs, you can hear footsteps up ahead, but you cannot see any movement. You can see your companions behind, the source of the shots that have just taken out the opponent you were facing. With that, it's Bjorn's turn, technically, by initiative.
I'll I'll move up beside those stairs and take cover against them.
Okay. Sorth, you as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And Yolandu? Coming around the corner as you are.
I'll set you up next to Bjorn.
Okay. You guys squeezing aside the stairwell. Your companion, Laz, stands tall and strong behind you. Towering as he is, aside the stairs, looking up towards them. You still don't see any movement. Do you ascend the stairs?
I mean, Laz is going to go up and probably get to the next corner to get a feeling it's coming on, but yeah.
All right.
I mean, I want to get back, grab Sophie, and get us the hell out of here, so.
That sounds fun. Actually, you guys exit out this place easily enough as you make your way up towards the top of the stairs, sighting the space beyond. Sorry, this is coming back. Shoot. You were in the garage area, went through the supply area, through the secret tunnel, coming along to the previous area you were at. Holy crap, why can I not remember this? Oh my gosh.
So we're heading back to the area where, if you remember, the frame fell down and entrapped Sort then clawed his way out. They were heading on in that direction. When I came back with Sophie, I ran to there, saw the frame, put Sophie in there to protect her while I ran off to go find whatever the hell was going on.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I heard people coming and just wanted to deal with it.
I'm just having a major problem visualizing that area right now, and it is bugging the shit out of me. Shoot. This is why
I remember the garage area had the fences, right? Had the double doors, had the frames overhead. One of them had fallen out. Right?
That was the
Is
place
the
you were
area?
just. That was the place you were just at. That was where you
Okay.
were just at. Yeah. Now you're taking the hall back to where you were, because you came in from underneath, and this is just coming up and over and heading back towards that wing of this place, and I just cannot remember what the place looks like. But regardless, yeah, no, it's fine. Fast track this, as it were, with a bit of a montage showing you guys cresting over the stairs. You can see down the hallway the last bits of movement as a few humanoid figures disappear, their shadows dancing against the hall at the far end before disappearing altogether from view. A lot of you guys continue, and this is like about 100 feet down a hall. Meanwhile, you guys can see mandors leading out from about the middle of the hall that you're upon into the area you were in before. The whole of the place is shaken pretty well, and there was another stairwell leading up and out of this place back into the main manor. But regardless, as you come in upon the place, you can see that the body is still there. You can still see the figure of the young woman lying underneath the cage. She doesn't seem to be any more conscious than she was before.
Is that her?
That's her, and I'm just picking her up, throwing her on the shoulder. We got to keep moving.
I'm gonna throw a healing word on her.
She moans slightly as she's picked up, moans more loudly as the magics take effect, and consciousness starts to slowly return to the woman. Regardless, she doesn't move much. You find yourselves heading upwards further still before coming upon, to your surprise, moonlight shining up over the horizon of the desert, stretching away from the manor. You can see bits of movement in the distance, and you can hear the rumblings continue underfoot. But more to the point, you can see bits of green seeping in the distance from the mountainous terrain. To your surprise, rivering a little bit here and there. The rumbling continues for a moment before ceasing as you await there a moment, unsure of what to do next. It is beginning to grow dark, although the sun still is receding in the distance, and you can hear shouts amidst the rubble and rumbles, however far away from where you're currently situated. The courtyard you're situated in has many footsteps around it in the dirt, showing crowds of individuals having come through and left the area. Off to the left from where, off to the left and down the way of the mountain manor sits the manor's entrance proper, with the most of the stockyard and various and the main gate, actually, as well as various residences or storage houses where you guys entered in upon the place originally. And this is not the right music.
Sounds like it's about to go.
So with that said, coming up to the surface of the manor's foothills, heading off to the left and the right, you can also see straight ahead into the horizon of the desert, out towards where the city of Teshburo sits. You can see dust clouds in the distance that you assume to be either small vehicles or large animals that are either being ridden or driven to another destination, or perhaps simply running away.
It's the only visible exit, the main gate.
The wall itself is not exactly difficult to climb. It's not. It's tall at about 50 feet height, with some wrought iron spikes at the top, but otherwise it's not the deadliest thing or most difficult to clamber over, being that it's mostly just smoothed and weathered stone, as well as crumbled in some portions to as low as 30 feet in a valley. From where you're situated on the balconies, platforms overlooking the area, you can actually see over the wall easily enough. If you had a grappling hook and rope, you could also use that to easily get to the top of it and down to the other side. Otherwise, yeah, the gate is at the far end yonder. There are breaks throughout the wall here and there. It's just a matter of finding one. The main gate is the only way to take a vehicle in and out of this place, though.
Well, I don't
Laz.
think we can... Sorry, go ahead.
Is the bus here?
As you guys look around, unsure of what to make of the place, you don't see the bus.
Well, in the lack of anybody saying anything, and I've got Sophie on my shoulder, I'm just going to start hustling my way to the main entrance.
Yeah, I'll walk to the main entrance with him. Shoulders back, head held high.
You eventually reach the main gate easily enough. The whole of the place is desolate now. Corpses litter about. Bloodstains and streaks spattered upon the sands. A bit of a breeze strikes against the gate and billows in about the place, sending particulates through the air. As you situate yourselves here, looking about the place, unsure of what to make of everything, you can hear in the distance the echoes of engines roaring away, and you recognize the sounds of whatever vehicles they might have had here receding into the distance. The wagons that they had in the front courtyard are gone. The massive cylinders that were being carried upon them, gone with them.
No horses or anything like that left.
No, it doesn't seem so.
Is my camel still around? Or is that gone too?
Your camel seems gone as well, yeah.
Tragic.
It looks like we're walking.
As the lot of you look about yourselves for a moment, and then out across the desert, you can see Teshburo's lights in the distance amidst the rising smoke and sand clouds of whatever procession has left here. Sophie groans a little bit, coming about after must have been about a half an hour now since you gave her the healing word. As she regains consciousness and realizes her circumstance, she begins to clamber herself against you, trying to get a good view of what's going on around her. She simply asks, "Can I be put down, please? You're grinding into my guts."
I haven't heard a complaint about that before. So I'll put her down, but I'm not gonna let her get very far out of my grip there because I don't know what the hell she's thinking. So it's pretty much sit her down.
Okay.
Is the ground still rumbling where we are?
As you make your way out of the main gate, leaving the manor behind, the ground is rumbling decidedly less, but you can hear the rumbling in the distance, which has also lessened. You can still see the dull glow of streaks of green upon the rocky mountain surface. And what's more is you occasionally see streams of, you want to say, blue sparkling energies being expelled into the air, like gas escaping the earth.
I'm not sure we should rest this close.
You can see silhouettes of things in the distance behind you amidst the mountainous terrain that is the De La Vega Manor.
Oh, I'm gonna grab her by her collar and say, "Talk while you walk," and just kind of frog march her a little as we go.
As you guys begin to walk away from the gate some further, Sophie simply says, do you hear that? She says, kind of stumbling over her words with some difficulty, before all of you see a simple glowing figure ahead of you, walking out of nothing and in towards the gate. And as he walks up towards you, Orion and Bjorn, Barium, and Laz, as well as even Sorth, you all recognize the figure and face of Ricardo de la Vega, as he, translucent and ghostly, walks in towards the manor, giving you guys a nod as he walks past, walking in through the gate of the manor's entryway there and rounding the corner, heading in towards the manor proper. As the camera pans against him, showing the whole of you guys in a crowd watching his receding figure, it slowly makes its way against your faces. What's the expression some of you have?
Laz is very, very confused.
Horse is seeing some crazy shit. He's kind of used to it now.
Have I noticed anything weird about Bjorn? I mean, I don't know Yolanda, but have I noticed anything weird about Bjorn now as we're like now at this moment?
Well, I'm carrying a sword now, and I only have my breastplate.
I meant like
He's got
you
pants on.
smell like shit. You're kind of undead. Minor things like I don't notice any of that.
You 100% notice some of these details, yes. Especially in Yolanda, who's more decrepit, I want to say.
Yeah. Like I could see myself kind of leaning over at some point with Sorth while we're watching, just going like, "The fuck's up with Bjorn?"
Needs a bath. And then some. Don't scrub too hard. It comes off.
You said Orion was seeing this as well, right?
Mhm.
We're all there.
100%. Sophie is immediately following in after her brother.
Sorry, so we came out of here, and I just saw
You just
Orion
saw
for
Ricardo.
the first time.
Oh yeah, well actually you guys saw Orion. Oh no, sorry, Orion has not seen this. Sorry, I thought.
Yeah, we don't
My
have
bad,
Orion
my bad.
or
My bad.
Barium yet,
Or
right?
Barium. No,
Just
they're not
spawned,
there.
yeah.
They're not there yet. My apologies.
We're there in spirit.
Yeah. In
Well,
solidarity.
yeah.
In solidarity. As it were, though. No, Bjorn, Laz, Sorth, you guys recognize Ricardo de la Vega walk in past as he makes his way towards the gate and in towards the manor proper.
Have I ever seen anything like this or heard about anything like this, like a flaming apparition?
I mean, you've absolutely heard of, ghosts haunting places, spirits that have whatever purpose before they head off to whatever place that they might finally end up at. It depends on what you believe. It's all about
Okay.
faith and what gods you believe in and what faiths you believe everyone is headed towards. That sort of thing. It's just faith after all.
But like seeing this, my mind goes to ghost.
More than likely, yeah, you're going to think,
Yeah.
This is not a possessed Ricardo. This is a not Ricardo as you knew him.
I'm gonna grab Sophie before she goes too far then and
Okay.
say, "You're with us. You can't go back in there. It's too dangerous."
She looks over towards you, with tears streaming out of her eyes. She simply says, I did this for those I've lost. I must, please. Frantically, she pulls against this collar around her, looking towards the lot of you. She says, please, I know what I can offer. If only, please. Look, he is right there. She looks
That's
out
not
towards
him.
where the blue glow is receding against the gate. You guys can see that it's actually stopped to look back towards you all. And she simply says, look, he is there. Please. She's
Can I try to throw a rock at it, see if it's like incorporeal?
yeah, by all means. Yeah.
Okay.
You whip a
Do I need to
rock.
roll?
It clatters off the tower next to it, splashing debris through it. It doesn't move. It just gives a wave out
Yeah,
towards
that's a
where
ghost, alright.
the lot of you stand. And as Ricardo stares ahead for the moment at you all, not saying much of anything.
Is he like gesturing towards anything, or is he just standing there?
He just waves. You can't see the expression on his face any longer. He's a bit of a distance away. But Sophie is on her knees at this point, sobbing in the ground, in the dirt and sand. You can see tears streaming and puddling down against where she's situated, staring ahead. She simply looks up and says, "What is it you want?"
What in the hell is going on?
She looks at you for a moment, sniffs, smirking up whatever congestion, and then simply says, "My brother has returned home."
what in the hell was going on in your house, and what is all this green crap?
She shakes her head and says, I cannot, I don't know what this is. Safe to say it come from the man I helped. He said he could help me, and so I allowed him to make use of my family's manor, or what was left of it. He offered,
And then what does it? And then what does it have to do with this? And I take out the book, and since Laz isn't really big on letters, and hand it to Sorth. I'm kind of questioning Bjorn right about now.
She makes a bit of a makes a bit of a gesture to reach towards it, and then pulls her hand back and just gives a shake of her head as she stares ahead towards where Ricardo is. Now actually turned around and walking into the manor grounds proper, disappearing in through the gate. She gives a bit of a whimper at this, and then looks over towards whomever's holding the book. It is
Sorth.
It is simply records that I kept. Copies of the various things that he was doing. Recipes, mostly. Where peoples were being kept. I made myself useful. I had nothing else. And she looks ahead towards where the gate of the manor sits, illuminated by the now rising moon and the now receding sun.
What was he doing to these people?
He promised a form of justice, of understanding for the people. He promised a form of peace for me and what remained of my family. She looks up towards you all and says, "What are you doing here? Who are you?"
You don't remember us.
She raises an eyebrow, and then her eyes widen a little bit as she says, "You saved." She gives a nod and says, Fate is a cruel comedian." She gives a sigh at this and looks up towards the manor again and says, "You come here looking for my father's legacy?" She says this with a bit of an understanding nod, and points out towards the manor again and says, I can show you where it is."
Who is this man?
He is perhaps not a man, but the devil. She gives a shake of her head as she wipes away some of her tears, and doesn't stop more of them from coming out as she begins to say, "He approached me to use the home, and I allowed it for monies that I needed to see the taxes upon this building paid. He had the money, and the taxes were paid. My family, what's left of it, was safe, and I felt useful for a while. His name is Margaster. He is not at all what he says or seems. I have done terrible things.
I don't think we can go back for his legacy. The place is falling apart.
No, you must. Please. If there is any chance, then we should attempt to drive it out, to drag it out. I am not sure if it runs.
It would beat walking.
Yes.
What exactly is it?
My father's legacy was the Tornado, and I know where it resides inside. If we go to the garage, I can show you this.
A garage wouldn't be too deep.
I think we'd be safer to walk, but if we must, we can go to the garage.
What is this green stuff and why is everything falling apart?
As Sophie gets to her feet again and recomposes herself, she says, Margister was using the volcanic activities underneath my family's home to power his machines, his machinations, as he called them. They are magically influencing the environs and creating things with the extreme power that comes from the planet's heat. I am not wholly familiar with the process that he followed, but he is using, he say, a natural flow of magic power that come through this area, this place. So what you see is now perhaps his machinations gone awry, gone wrong. There is much evil energies that he was using, and you are seeing that, I think, coming out of my home now.
Good. This place is evil.
It was not, but it has been infected now, I should think. She simply gives a shake of her head and says, Come, I show you to Toronado. And perhaps I see my brother.
I'm gonna follow, I guess.
Okay.
I'm gonna look into my little satchel and then follow.
I'm gonna shake my head and then follow.
Yeah, Blaz is just kind of fucking shrug at this point, but he is gonna stay close to Sophie because she is not gonna get out of striking range at any point in this.
That's fine.
She tries to pull a ghost again. It's not gonna go well.
As she makes her way in after her ghosting brother, you guys pass back through the gate and can see the receding ghostly figure walking along the stairs, heading up towards the entryway to the manor that you had originally busted your way through. As Sophie looks up towards him, he looks back towards her. And she says, "We can go in this way." She leads you up the stairs towards the entryway where her brother has disappeared through. And as you enter in through the doorway, you can see him making his way across the space of the interior as a bit of a rumble echoes through the whole of the area around you. The environment's giving a bit of a shake, and bits of the ceiling, dilapidated already from years of weather, drip away, crumbling down on the ground in front of you. As you continue making your way in after the ghostly blue figure receding down the hall ahead, Sophie can't help but shout out after it. The ghost doesn't respond, but simply continues to waft away. The lot of you following in after it as she leads you through the manor and eventually down flights of stairs leading into the familiar Undercroft once again. The blue figure has long since disappeared ahead of you as she occasionally mutters, wondering if they'll see him again soon. She leads you through the area easily enough as someone who's traveled about these tunnels 1,000 times over. She leads you back towards the skunk works underneath the garage. And to your surprise, or maybe not, looks up towards a simple slab of wall that extends along one of the chambers you were in, leading up to that elevator, and points out that behind there sits Father's legacy. But I don't have the key.
I facepalm.
You brought us back here and you don't have the key.
She gives a shake of her head, and she says, "I do not. I had it, but I happen to have lost it at some point. It was stolen from me or our family. Recently, in fact."
I'm gonna walk up to the wall and knock on it.
To your surprise, it sounds, though it looks brick, it sounds metallic and hollow, but thick, all the same.
Where's the key, Sophie?
She gives a nod and says, "If I knew, I would happily provide it. I can show you to the mechanism to open the door." And she simply points up towards where the slab you can see begins at the edge, and says, "You can slide those bricks." The lot of you, it shows the camera pan against the lot of you for a moment, as each of you regards this, wondering what to do about the door, as it were, and wondering what key she might mean, or where this key might be.
Well, this is a gigantic waste of fucking time.
Yeah.
She simply looks up towards the panel that she points out and says, "Can nobody open the lock?"
Source is gonna go look at it.
Okay. You can see the panels that make up the. You can see the brickwork making up. The panels that make up the faux brickwork. My question is, what do you get on an investigation roll?
Be rough. 12.
As you look over the panels, you can see how they slide this way and that. There's a bit of a clattering as you move the panels to and fro, and you can see that there is a locking mechanism in behind them. There's a couple gears and a simple keyhole where it seems a multi-toothed unit would rather large key would go in. That said, as you slide them around, you realize it takes a little bit more than you expected to puzzle your way through the thing. Throw me in a straight intelligence check, I guess.
Ooh, that one.
As you slide them to and fro, you end up getting one of the panels stuck out of frustration. Not sure what to make of it. You can't seem to get it to slide back.
Stupid machine.
Can I inspire him?
Yes.
Hey, what's the holdup?
So
I'm gonna-
inspirational.
I'm gonna glare at him, and I'm gonna use that comment to fuel me to do better in life. Not much better, but I got a 5.
You managed to loosen the panel once again, but you continue to just kind of clack the panels around, unsure of how to get them out of the way.
Oh, this is ridiculous. I'm gonna throw my hands up and leave it.
I'll walk over to replace him and see what I can do.
Laz is still trying to figure out how he can pick the lock with his battle axe.
Roll me intelligence, Yolanda.
$11.
Sliding the panels to and fro for a bit, they clack off to the side until finally you've got the keyhole revealed.
I took a look at the it's just like a basic keyhole, like nothing else, just like flush with the surface.
It's it's a robust metal panel with a thick tumbler and a large multi-toothed key slit in the metal. It's a very heavy duty lock. Some sort of starter mechanism or something. From what you can tell from the shape of it, it is very much a thick rectangular key.
I'll start looking around and see if there are any makeshift tools I can use to try to jimmy the lock.
You happen to find, with a perception check, bits of rubble and junk around the place.
What the? I have advantage, and I rolled a 1 and a 2. Plus 6, which is 7 for the advantage.
Looking around, you find bits of wire, scraps of metal. You don't find any tools, makeshift or otherwise, but you do find bric-a-brac, old rubble, junk.
Well, I guess I'll try to bang it on the keyhole. Throw the trunk at it. Let's see if that works.
Sorry, this is what now? You're gonna witch?
I'm gonna take the trunk and I'm gonna hit it against the keyhole and see if I can like magically open it.
You're just gonna take like an armload of junk and throw it at the lock?
Yeah.
Alright, that sounds good. Not really sure what to roll for this, to be honest with you. But I mean, that happens. You throw a bunch of junk at the wall. It clatters off it, slaps onto the ground, unceremoniously clattering and clanging as it does so.
Roll a d20 for what the fuck.
Okay.
So with that all said, though, junk littering against the ground next to where the locking mechanism is situated in the wall. What'd you gentlemen do? Sophie looks around. She rolls her eyes.
If we can find a place to sleep, I can get us in there.
She looks towards
Would
you.
sleep directly in the volcano or just adjacent?
She looks towards you and looks around for a moment, then says, "Our quarters are back in the manor. I can find you a place to rest. It is not overtaken by time and cobwebs."
Guess I'd also need some soft clay.
She points over towards the walls where mortar is dripping out, with the bits of shaking that take the place here and there. And then simply says, "Do we wish to find a respite for some time? It seems all of Margister and his coterie have left."
Laz, can you just punch your way in?
I'm very close to just whacking at this thing with my battle axe, but I know that's not going to help. Like, I may not be a smart man, but I'm smart enough to know that destroying the one way to get into this thing is probably not the brightest idea.
Try throwing junk.
I'm
I mean,
all for it.
we can let Laz give it a shot and try and open it up with whatever piece of junk was on the floor and see if I can find something. But I'm about as dumb as a fucking rock here. Can Laz see if he can find a crooked bit of something he can jam into the lock?
Mm-hmm. Throw investigation.
Investigation at minus everything. I roll it on intelligence, right?
Yes, sir.
Alright, where are you? Investigation. There you are. Yeah, it's a 5. I can't find shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, actually, you find a decent chunk of metal. It's slim, bent, coiled, a little bit even. Looks really fancy. Like it would make a good tool. Trying to open a bottle of wine or stab someone in the neck.
Well, then Lance is going to try and do his best impression of Ryan, but I'm going to be extremely furtive at doing this, knowing that I have no idea what I'm doing, and I don't want to like destroy things. So it's just kind of like make the motions of whatever Ryan I've seen him do when he's feeling shit.
Go ahead and make a roll. This is a dexterity check, no proficiency, and a disadvantage. Oh, and it's a -5.
Dexterity minus everything. Here we go. The first one is a nat 20. Which means now we gotta do the second one, which is gonna fucking suck.
Come on, one.
If someone inspired you, that would be that. I mean, you know, I just work here. I'll see myself on. Be right back.
I've already used mine.
Yo, I'm gonna inspire Laz. Channel your inner Orion.
Yeah, I can like 100% get us through if we sleep. I just don't know if we want to sleep.
I don't know if we want to sleep there. My second one was a 6, so pretty sure we'd rather have the 20.
I'm still terrified of that little badger thing that was gonna eat Yolanda.
Hey, who
I'm just
grabbed
pissed at
the key
pissed at the audacity of this bitch. Like, sure, come down. I'll show you where the garage is, but I don't have the fucking keys to the garage door opener.
Yeah.
Who grabbed the key from Orion's dead hands when he was crushed?
Where is your body? I don't even know where you are.
I
I'm
saw it.
alive.
I got it.
Yeah, I
Probably
think
just left.
yeah.
Barry
William has
grabbed
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I feel like Dooley might think one of us four has it. Because I'm feeling like real dumb at this door. Because
Did anybody see Barry grab it? But I guess no, because Barry was there by himself, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure I grabbed your stuff.
Yeah.
I don't
I
have
just saw
anything.
you and went, all right, bye.
I am so glad we ran because I would have died instantaneously.
Yeah, because
So what happens?
remember,
So
like,
if you inspire me, do I get to keep the first roll then?
Yeah, from what
Yeah, it cancels
Dooley was
it out.
saying, yeah.
Well,
Because that negates the
it's gonna be great.
The
Laz is gonna
disadvantage.
think he's now like got part thief, and he's gonna try and like hide in the shadows. This big
You- you-
gigantic dude, half plate.
get that cardboard box going again.
The best is we're gonna recreate this shit as soon as we open up the garage door, and then we all stare at the engine and just fucking start hitting it with shit.
I'm gonna be sad if we
Lord.
open it up and it's gonna be gone.
just another key.
Yeah, exactly. Just another damn lock. It's like one of those escape rooms.
The exact same shape too.
All right. Where are we? Sorry.
We gave Laz advantage, so he got a
A
22 on the
nat
roll.
fucking 20 on his lockpicking. With a random scrap of metal. Good job.
Picking skills, man. Lock picking lawyer right there.
This is the lockpicking lawyer, and today we have this massive fucking wall. So Yolanda comes over, he's like, find something in all this. Clatter. Then Laz is like, this'll do. Ka-chick. And opens up the fucking door.
Congratulations.
So with that all said, the door opens up. The locking mechanism unlocks, and the immediate moment that it does, you hear the release of something that goes sproing and clank in behind the wall. As it does so, it's a moment later that you hear several chains rattling and rolling as several gears start to turn over. The whole of the wall, the whole of the slab of wall begins to slide apart like a curtain would, folding over itself. As this occurs, one panel after the next falling in behind the next, it reveals in behind a small workshop space. What's up, Rosie? And the silhouette of a modest-looking vehicle on the other side. With 6 wheels situated along its lengthy platform, the sleek black shell of the black racing machine in front of you gleams in the little bit of darkness, adorned with lights all around. Gleams in the darkness with the few lights all around, providing a little bit of a shine against its chromid structure, its black polished surface. And as you look upon your reflection in that surface, extending away up and down the windshield and the various metal bits, you can't help but be impressed with the long lines leading to a crumpled top of the cabin and the crumpled top of the hood, where you can see that it has taken some damage some time ago. A layer of dust covers over the whole of what you assume to be Toronado. As you look upon the grill, upon the grill and can see etched in the metal in Kalashite glyphs the very word itself. As you do a little bit of a tour around the machine, you can see it's got the names of Ricardo, Sophie, emblazoned in the window, and along the back, the various labels of whomever might have sponsored this race machine once upon a time. Coming into the back, you can see the De La Vega name etched into the trunk lid, and upon the sides of the tires, you can recognize the name of a crap. Actually, no, you guys never met any tire guys. Never mind. On the side of the tires, you can see Hankook or something. The ancient Hankook. But that said,
Hancock.
as you look upon the whole of the shell of this magnificent machine, you can see the crumpled portions of it. And Sophie simply gives a nod, and she walks in towards the machine, placing a hand on the hood, running it to where it's crumpled in,
Be careful, that tray is sticky.
and then says over towards where you guys are situated, "I am sure you can see this repaired.
Are you gonna eat that, Steve?
If only my brother or father were here to do so."
Sophie, but you can get this thing moving, right?
She reaches the driver's side door and pulls it open. Looking inside, she lowers the visor, and a set of keys drops down onto the seat. Picking them up off the seat, she holds them aloft for a moment and then sits down inside. She looks at you all and then turns over the tumbler. There's a dramatic moment where it goes tick. She gives a nod at this and then says, "I have to put it into gear," and holds in the clutch. At which point, she turns it over again. The whole of the space is filled with the echoing sound of the engine suddenly jumping to life. As it fires up, she gives a smirk and a smile and a momentary holler of joy before the engine suddenly caps out a moment later. She looks about for a moment and says, "We may want to check the fuel."
You should do that.
She looks around for a moment and says, "I am not certain where my father kept his fuel. I think this is a BlackRock engine."
Seem uncertain of a lot of things. Why did you bring us back here?
Hold on, I got a lump of shit in my bag if I remember when I was coming into this place. So I'm gonna grab whatever that lump is and be like, "Is this what you're looking for?"
She gives a nod and says, "Yes, that is, yes." She
How much do you need?
She pulls open the lever that releases the trunk lid and climbs out, opening the trunk at the back. You can see inside a porthole situated in the chromid pipe, amid some chromid piping that's leading in, where the engine is situated underneath the back seat. As she takes the BlackRock from you, she places it within the fuel canister that makes up one large portion of the engine underneath the trunk lid. She opens it up, it unscrews, and she takes the lid off of this sort of canister space that she slides the BlackRock into. She starts screwing the thing shut, and she looks everything over inside this little area, and then slams the trunk lid down, and then looks towards you, looking you up and down. She gives a nod and says, "Let's fire it up."
Her time's a charm. I'll get into the cockpit with her. Like I said, I'm not letting her get very far away this time.
As the Tornado fires up, you can hear the familiar sound of an engine you've heard before begin to rev as she puts the hammer down a couple times with the clutch in. And she says, "That is the legacy. That is it right there. It is alive and well. Do you hear that?" As the engine continues to idle loudly and powerfully, the massive pipes of it exhausting and filling the space with carbon monoxide, slowly tiring you out as your consciousness wanes.
Get time for a short rest.
Be sure to turn off the car.
You'll get a
long
rest.
Point being, though,
Is there a good spot for me to climb on?
yeah, there's a back seat. This thing's basically like a '69 Camaro with a back seat bench and a front seat bench, and an oversized engine under a crumpled hood.
Okay. I guess I'll grab the seat behind Sophie. I assume it has the most leg room, so.
You probably don't want to sit behind Laz.
Yeah, for the
So
record,
it's gonna-
Laz is like this inside the car. No! Like fucking A.
So is this gonna like sit on the back of the back seat with his feet on the seat because he can't really fit behind Laz or in the seat?
All right, that's fine. You squeeze in. The back seat bench is rather full, as one might imagine, with the two of you in there. As she rolls it forth out of the place and slowly makes her way up the ramp, you guys hear the rumblings all around you as the driveway ahead of you starts to cave in ever so suddenly. As she
Get us the hell out of here.
As she comes to a sudden stop, looking ahead, she looks behind and says, I have no route away from here.
Figure it out.
She looks ahead and says, Look there, my brother. And you guys can see the silhouette of Ricardo de la Vega beckoning towards you to follow this way. She throws it in to gear and makes her way over towards where he's situated. The echoing rubber all around as the rubber echoing all around as the car revs to life, making its way through where Ricardo is situated. He gives a wave and beckons forth as she tears past him through the tunnelway as the rubble continues to fall down around you. Another rumble taking action against the hole of the tunnel, causing cracks to appear in front of you and around. Sophie continues to drive forward, the obvious talent shining through with a 16 plus bonus as her bloodline and lineage shines through. She continues to pilot the Tornado up and out along the ramp, avoiding bits of rubble that fall down all around you. A gap expands across the whole of the hall, green goop burbling out as she soars across it, the suspension clattering and clanking as she makes her way up and out, finally under the moonlight again. As she chuffs and churtles up and out, the whole of the engine suddenly chuffs and a bunch of smoke escapes before it starts to slow down, and she, with the throttle pumping, manages to get it just towards the gate, where it comes into a halt in the darkness under the wall. And she says, "Where are the fuel? Perhaps we rest."
I think that's a good idea.
Hold on, where are we now? Are we still in the building?
No, you're out of the building. You're out in the front yard, next to the gate. You took like a little brick, right?
Yeah. But she never said anything about how much we needed when we were down in there. And I saw that stuff on the way in, right? The boxes.
You did.
How far is it to get to that?
It's about 150 feet. No, about 250 feet back down the tunnel, or back inside the tunnel and down the way. So it's about 100 feet inside the place and 150 feet back over there to get into that tunnel.
Oh, fucking great.
Gonna put her through the windshield.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here. So I pull the keys and I grab her out by the scruff of her neck and say, "It looks like we got to go get something." I'm not dying here.
I'll go help pick up some fuel.
Okay,
I'm gonna watch the car.
sounds good.
Stay with you and watch the car.
As you guys are situated, excuse me. As you guys are situated, making your way back towards where the garage tunnel sits, you can hear in the distance the echoes of the engines, the many militants that made up this place's population now punking off, heading out towards wherever their destiny might take them. You guys making your way back down, excuse me, into the tunnels. Find your way down towards where the storage areas are along the one side. Coming upon the barrels, several barrels that are situated there. You can see they're still there, still rife with the black rock substance. They're rather heavy, being as dense as they are with the amount of fuel that each one holds. You can roll them out. They are rounded off cylindrically, so you can roll them easily enough.
Can I roll 2? I just put one in front of the other.
You can throw me athletics.
I still have enhanceability, I believe, so 26.
Okay.
Not 20.
Very nice. You managed to get the two barrels in front of each other and rolling them as you will. Get them up the hallway. Get them working in tandem and rolling along. Anybody else?
I'm gonna put one over in front of Sophie and say, "Better get pushing."
Sophie will start to push. She is going to roll shite. She's got the spirit, but not the ability.
Fucking useless. Can I throw this over my shoulder?
Yes.
Yeah, one goes over the shoulder and the other hand goes to the scruff of her neck. We're all walking out of this thing together.
Roll athletics.
Athletics. There we go. The right one. I rolled a 2 plus 7, which is 9.
Okay. You managed to hold the barrel over your shoulder, but nearly lose balance trying to grab a hold of her. She doesn't try to dance away or anything, but she's just kind of like waving her arms and, "Whoa, don't drop it, don't drop it." And then looks at you and says, "You can just walk, it's fine, we just walk." With that said, you can make another attempt to grab at her, but as the place rumbles some further and the weight of the barrel holds you down on the one side, throwing you off balance, it's going to be a bit difficult through this place, you figure?
Oh. All right. Well, do I have... I mean, I'm trying to think. I would usually have a hand axe on my belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, barrel in one arm, the hand... instead of holding her, the other one gets a hand axe. And we're going to be following her out.
Okay. And with that, you guys.
I don't trust her as far as I could throw her.
And so with that, you guys make your way up along the driveway of the garage tunnel, rolling the fuel barrels and carrying the one over your shoulder. Sorth or Yolandu is carrying an axe. Is that what I'm understanding there?
Sorth is still in the car.
Yeah, I stayed with Sorth.
All right. That said, you guys making your way out the tunnel with the fuel in hand, air quotes, continue to do so. We'll say throw me a dex check to avoid some of these gaps that are opening up around the place. Laz, you can throw me one. 12 or better.
19 plus 2, 21.
And Bjorn, if you could.
4.
One of your barrels slips in front, tumbling unceremoniously into the green goop as you manage to avoid having the second one fall in. You can attempt to pull it out.
I'm gonna push faster with the other one and get the hell away from it.
Okay, it sizzles a little bit. You push past. The lot of you do. Sophie gives a bit of a shriek and a gasp as she looks towards it and starts to run. As Laz, you look over towards the barrel, you can see the sizzling and it starts to smolder a bit.
Like I'm running, pushing this barrel at this point.
That's fine.
To be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Can I keep up with her with this thing on my shoulder? Or am I falling dreadfully behind her?
You're not falling dreadfully behind her, but she is picking up speed and will be dreadfully ahead of you soon.
All right, barrel goes down. I'm going to give it a spin up in that direction. I'm going to call out to Sophie and tell her, for lack of a better term, stop or I'll shoot. Yeah, I'll say, Sophie, stop where you are.
Your
And I'm
voice,
going to just take off at her.
your voice echoes ahead. She turns around to look to where you guys are situated, and then turns and begins to continue running away up the hall. She is at this point 30 feet away and continuing another 30 feet around the bend.
I am no longer concerned with my barrel, and I'm sprinting after her.
Okay. So are you just putting it off to the side?
Yeah, I mean, it was rolling, and it's just really, I'm just going to roll it towards the wall and take off after her.
That's fine. You roll off your barrel and begin to chase after Sophie, who's taken off at this point. That said, you gain 40 feet upon her 60 as she's run. You can see her parkouring over bits of rubble and gaps in the ground. As you rush up ahead, I need another dex check against the terrain. 12 or better. This is a dex save, I should say.
Five plus 2 is 7, but don't I get something again? I've got to find my cheat sheet.
Terrain, isn't it?
There's something here. Advance on dex saving throws
What's up, Matt?
against any effect you can see when not blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. So I have nothing on my shoulders or anything else. I get another shot at this then, right?
Mm-hmm. Make it up.
Nat 20 plus 2, 22.
Very nice. You parkour and roll and slide and generally make yourself look awesome as you puree and dance across the terrain. Coming in parallel with your quarry, rushing in after her as she continues to run along the hallway, falling apart all around you. She shouts back, "Good! Good, yes, let's make our escape. This place is coming down hard all around. With that, though, Bjorn in the
What are
background.
we fucking leaving in? We got no fuel, idiot.
Bjorn in the background there. One of your barrels rolled in. You're still rolling the other one. Your turn being made up of, I'm assuming, rolling that barrel as hard as you can.
Yep.
Fantastic stuff. So you're going to make it that 30 feet like a champ. As you roll it up, there's a sudden and ever so destructive explosion in behind you that suddenly takes place. Of course, such that the whole of the place rumbles hard, causing a lot of green goo to spatter and spew. As this happens, I need a dex check from you as well as well as an athletics check.
12 on my dex save, I'm guessing.
Awesome. Or did you make that? Or yeah, 12 or better.
12, so I made it, and an 18 on my athletics.
Terrific stuff. So not only do you manage to hold your footing and avoid falling into the green, you manage to hold onto your barrel and continue to roll. With that said, the camera pans against the whole of the hall with all of the destruction all around. Sophie continues to parkour her way across the place with the dexterity of a gazelle. She gets across yet another gap that opens up, jumps across a bunch of rubble that slams into the floor, and generally continues to make great time. As Laz continues to bring up the rear, you can make me an athletics check. And Yolandu, sorry, what up?
Athletics is, I got a 14 plus 7 is 21.
Sweet.
And the other one was a 1 plus 7 is 8, so I'll take the better of the two.
That's fair. Yolanda, you're back at the car?
Yeah, I'm back at the car.
Alright, so looking out towards the opening of the garage. Actually, no, she wouldn't be there yet. No, never mind. You can't actually see her yet. So as it stands, it's still just Laz chasing after Sophie and Bjorn bringing up the barrel. So with that said, she continues to run away, and Bjorn, you continue to roll your barrel as the explosion behind causes whatever cave-in to take place there. Before long, you've made your way out of the tunnel, following in after your companion Laz, who's some distance away. Sorry, I think I gapped something here. Long and the short, she's running away from you. You've got to make your athletics check, which you did. There's no dex check to be made here. The two of you continue to run ahead. You've got about 10 feet to go to catch up to her. As she's double moving and you're double moving. I think that's how the math works out there in difficult terrain. So with that said, this next turn, as she's rushing away from you, trying to think here.
Oh, I'm still catching up to her, right?
Yeah, I'm just thinking if she like pulls any tricks to get away, or what she's gonna do.
I mean, she's getting very close to having a big lump of whatever I can grab thrown at her in the head. I carried her ass before. I'm not afraid of doing it, but I'd rather grab her by the scruff of her neck like a freaking small animal.
Yeah, no, she's just gonna keep running. So she nat 20s it.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So as it stands, she on this rule, difficult terrain is not a thing right now. So she managed to actually gain 20 feet. So as it is, bringing up the rear through the tunnel as you are. Throw me athletics.
Coming at you.
As she does a gainer off of some rubble and then double jumps
First
through
one,
the air.
It's a 1 plus 7 for 8. The second one is a 7 plus 7, 14.
It's decent. as you continue to run along, jumping over bits of rubble and leaping across gaps that are opening up in the floor, avoiding dripping goop from the ceiling. The lot of you continue to rush through the tunnel until you burst out into the moonlight. As she continues to scamper and makes her way across the ledges, jumping down towards ground floor. She does so easily enough as you follow in behind with an athletics check as well.
There we go. First one is 17 plus 7, 24.
Awesome.
Second one is 3 plus 7 for 10, so we'll take the first one.
As she's leaping down off these platforms to get to ground floor, you kind of just jump off onto a slope and ski down next to it, next to where she's situated. Reaching down towards the ground floor, you have narrowly intercepted her at about a 10-foot gap again, as she rolls just out of your reach and scampers off, shouting towards you, "Look! The tornado is right there!" As she dances a little bit and comes to a slow stop.
Laz doesn't slow down so well. I see this as clearly being a clotheslining moment. I'm looking to. I'm not looking to blow her up, but I'm definitely looking to get her down and ask her what the hell she's thinking. It's gonna be a hit.
Okay. I'm assuming I'm gonna get a roll here.
What do I roll? I mean, it's literally like my momentum is just carrying. Like she's slowing down. I did not picture her slowing down, so my momentum is just carrying me into her. What does that end up being?
Body check, I guess.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Excuse me.
Would it be strength? Just a raw strength thing? An arm strike, maybe? I don't know.
He's so dead.
Or a grapple, like, I don't know. I guess grapple. I mean, I'm looking to just, wrap her up and keep her from continuing to run.
There's actually a roll for it. But effectively, yeah, it's like grapple, if you will. So you can go ahead with an athletics check on your part. Once again.
First one is 6 plus 7 is 13. Get out of the way, die. I can't see. There you go. There's the second one. Is it 18 plus 7, 25. 25.
Wow, that is terrible. That is just... I'd like to personally apologize to everybody for that lack of preparation right fucking there. That was atrocious.
It was like, what fresh hell just happened?
So
that
as
was her
Laz
death
comes
scream.
trucking in towards her, comes in flying as fast as he can. You might imagine it's all bad. A giant train heading in towards this little woman. All of Laz. It's the Hulk running over Black Widow. Okay, so that was really loud and annoying. But as it were, what'd you roll?
You need for damage?
No, for your athletics.
Oh, my athletics, my higher one was the 18 plus 7, the 25.
Terrific stuff. She rolls shit, and with that, you steamroll the poor woman. She is flattened prone as she is blown off of your chest, like literally just BAM! A wall of flesh that you are coming bulldozing over her. Do you trample her? Are you trying to step on her head or anything like a freaked out horse? Or are you just running through
No.
her?
I was just literally trying to wrap her up. It was one of those, like, if I hit her, it's just kind of grab it, and both of us are rolling out of this thing.
That's fair. You
Because
steamroll into her.
I need her to drive. So.
That's fair. Your pectorals pretty much just like pick her up by her head, just like, and you suspending this woman as you are in a massive bear hug of mountainous breasts, have her covered in your sweat and rushing in towards the car as she shouts out, "This is necessary!" But as you rush in towards the car, situated just over there, she pulls herself away and says, "What about the fuel? You smell amazing."
If you wanted fuel, you shouldn't have run away.
She looks up at you and then looks behind herself towards where you guys are running and says, "Who is running away?"
You were.
As you continue to run,
I see no fuel in your arms.
As she continues to look towards where you are running in towards the car, Sorth and Yolandi, you can see where the mountain man has come towards you holding the woman and no fuel.
Where's the fuel?
In the background, the camera trucks to see Bjorn rolling along with the one barrel of fuel that he has there. If you want to throw me athletics, actually, we'll get you 2 barrels again, because there was one just tossed to the side there. So
23.
terrific stuff. It shows Bjorn in the background rolling 2 barrels because your DM's nice. So point being, though, you have them 2 barrels as you're making your way out towards the Toronado in the distance. Closing that distance sometime later, coming in where the Toronado is situated.
I mean, if I see Bjorn pushing those things out, like I'm literally gonna like just pop her in the back of the head and say, "Go help him."
She stumbles away and then gives you the finger and walks off towards where Bjorn is.
Could be dead.
There's a montage of you guys bringing the barrels in and slowly dumping the black rock substance piece by piece down into the canister area, pressing it down. Sorry, I forgot to mention, basically you put it into the tube and then you pull a lever and it pulls it in, like loading a gun, and then next chunk goes in and you lever it down, and next chunk goes in and you lever it down. So fueling is a bitch. But that said, you guys steadily fill it up and then pack the extra barrel into the trunk next to the fuel intake. At which point, Sophie looks along the tubing and such and says, "There is a way to attach this. I am not familiar with it." At which point she slams the trunk lid closed and says, "I think we can leave now."
That sounds a lot better. And then I give her back the keys as we all pile in.
As she takes the keys from you, she turns over the engine. As the familiar sound echoes all around you guys, she drives the Toronado up along the length of the wall remaining towards where the gate is situated up ahead, pulling in around through the gate and leaving a bit of a dust devil behind. She opens it up over the flat ground ahead that makes up the horizon of the desert, opening out towards Teshburo. As she kicks it up into the next gears, she lets the wind flow over the whole of the body and we watch as you guys disappear off into the distance. There's a pan of the camera later that shows a familiar vehicle leaving the compound sometime later. The bus making its way back towards Teshboro. As we watch the Toronado roll into the paddock, I'm assuming you guys head back towards the race paddocks.
Yeah, that's where I would have been asking to go, at least unless anybody else had an objection.
No, I
Nope.
need to sleep.
Who needs sleep?
You mean the rocking of the vehicle isn't putting you to sleep on the way back, buddy?
It was close.
The suspension of the Toronado is a bit loose and odd to get a hold of, as Sophie demonstrates. Though she may be talented, the night strip that is this, the night strip of wild land that you are crossing doesn't allow for a steady ride. Full of potholes, full of hills, full of unexpected twists. She does her best to keep it a steady drive, but the terrain is unforgiving. She manages to hold the vehicle steady enough that the rocking motion does in fact cause your lids to grow heavier and heavier as Teshburo comes up towards you. She takes the vehicle in around where she is directed towards the paddocks. The many guards that may remain around the paddocks are doing their best to hold the line, as you can see. Having been wasted down by the weeks of steady attacks by whatever rebels, they hold the race area as secure as they can with their dwindling numbers. Coming towards the place with the Tornado's engines idling powerfully, the guards let you through as you inform them of where you're situated. You see the place is relatively bleak in terms of population. There are not a lot of people here. It is at this point quite dark out, with night having fallen and the environs dark, save for whatever pinpoint lights illuminate the area. The Toronado, providing a pair of crystals mounted in the front, shining brightly to provide visibility as you enter into the dark paddocks. You come towards where your paddock is, and you see no bus. But you do see the empty space, dark and foreboding. Bloodstains, knocked over equipment, shelves destroyed. As the Toronado rolls into position, and we hear the engine simply die off, giving it a last burp. The Tornado's door opens up as Sophie steps out.
What the hell happened here? Sophie, what do you need to get this vehicle ready to run?
She looks around and says, "I see quite a mess. I can dig through. I don't know anything about cars or how to repair this.
So your answer is you need a mechanic.
Yes.
Just drive her back to that house and leave her there.
Jesus Christ. Well, Sophie says you can't do much else. Start cleaning this shit up. Bjorn, what do you need? And Sorth, you want to help me lock this place down so we at least have some chance of peace here for a little bit to collect our thoughts and figure out where the hell our boss is.
Yeah. I'll help with that, with securing a perimeter so we can call it a night there.
As you look around the place, your passive perception lends you to notice recent signs of life, but also recent signs of combat, recent signs of some nasty violence indeed. As you note scratches in the walls and floor, you see the sudden and unexpected massive bug-like corpse situated in the center of the pathway, just in behind the paddock, next to where the trash goes. Simple and large and ferocious looking, and in a heap of flesh and gore, it sits still seeping and moist.
Is Sorth gonna try and eat it or cook it?
There's a large chance of this.
I was actually gonna go investigate it, but I'm a changed man these days.
It smells like honeyed pork. Raw honeyed pork.
Right, now I have to.
Not even kidding.
While Laz is helping to kind of walk around, like close up the shop and just set up so we can protect ourselves from whatever the hell got in here. If I run into any of the security guys out there, it's more asking questions like, hey, where's our bus and what the hell's going on? Just trying to get a lay of the land.
As you do just this and inquire around, one of the guards that you first approach simply gives you a shake of his head and says, well, I'm not sure. We are still looking for answer. You are one of racers?
Yeah, we're with the bus. We're with oh my god, it's been so long.
Pasha.
The Pasha, yeah.
Which Pasha?
Hamid Pasha. I remember. We're not even gonna look it up.
The guard gives a nod at this, understanding for a moment. Okay. Then you stay safe in Norpathic. We keep you safe, huh? You go.
All right, we'll head back in. I'm gonna try and lock everything down. Oh no! Before I leave the guard, I'm gonna ask: are there any mechanics left?
Huh. There are a few still in city, I think. Huh? However, you curfew in the city. No can go. Rebels, many of them. Much fighting. He gives a nod sternly and then says, you stay safe. Stay safe. Stay in.
Who are the rebels fighting?
We fight rebels. Rebels fight we.
What happened to the mechanic that helped bury him when he was back at the garage last?
Excellent question.
Bug food. Well, I think if the guards feel like they can keep us safe, I'm gonna rely on them. I gotta rest.
All right. Well, I guess we'll do this in some form of shift. I could take first. Sorth, you up for second?
Yeah, I'll take second.
You guys are sleeping in your paddock.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Is there like a higher post that Sork can get on top of?
Hey, what now?
Like a higher area, like on top of a roof or something?
That works. Yeah,
Cool. Yeah, Sork is gonna stay up there.
I can dig it. All right. You clamber your way to the top of a nearby structure. And with that said, the camera pans against. Sorry.
I'd say since Laz is up, I'll be helping Sophie straighten up the paddock, not for her sake, but just in the interest of hoping that we find someone to help get this machine, tip top, so we can get the hell out of here. Because none of this looks like a great position to be in terms of height-wise.
She gives a nod at this and says, my father did not use much for weaponry. However, the Tornado is typically quite armored. These crumples, these are not easily placed upon the frame, you see. She points out to various points. I remember Cyrus, he, although was terrible as a person, he was a smart man for an engineer. He was able to come up with designs, as you see here. And she's pointing out that the Tornado's got just a crazy frame on the inside, an incredible endoskeleton that, it's destroyed in some places, but not because of any idle strike. This thing was able to take some damage. She says they could roll and simply keep going. You see, these are very strong lines of metals. And she continues to point out things. I am not sure where to get such parts. However, these are easily replaced. And she points out like how you can basically tear apart the interior really easily. She says, I'm not sure how the tools work for these. She says, I imagine it's simple enough. It had to be done on the road, So with that said, she kind of walks you through that part of it, and then looks at the hood and says, this here is special structured metal, yes? And she shows you like the hood's got an endoskeleton on the underside of it too, and how it all bolts together is with custom pieces that she says you guys are going to have to find someone to fabricate. But then she points to the engine under the hood, and you guys kind of recognize it as similar to the engine that was driving the bus. That's
yeah.
Bjorn is looking for a place to sleep. That's going to be in the paddock, you said? You're going to sleep in the Tornado?
Yeah, I'll take the front bench.
Yeah, alright. So we've got Sorth situated on a hot tin roof. Bjorn situated in the front bench. We've got Laz going over the Tornado with Sophie. You're not getting yourself some rest.
Anyway, once we get the paddock cleaned up, and then I'm not gonna rest until I know that I'm not gonna have her getting out of sight here. So,
all right,
I will stay up until I can trade off with somebody to keep an eye on her.
All right.
Who's the weird kid that's been quiet this entire? So I had two weird smelling people with me, one of which I knew, and the other person I don't know, and that we have not had any interaction. Where is Yolandu in this?
I'm chilling on the ground.
Just chilling?
Yep, on the floor.
All right. Well, nothing good or bad has come of him, so I'll just be one of those like, okay.
On the floor
So
of the
what
paddock
is
or the
Sophie
tornado?
A tornado.
Okay,
Just like anywhere that's a clear of space.
that's
Just any
fair.
area on the ground.
That's totally fair. You do so. You find a nice, comfortable spot. It's spacious on the inside, and Sophie is going over the car with you for a moment, and then looking at the paddock after it's clean, giving a satisfied nod. You guys hear growls and whatnot in the distance, and then sudden clashes of violence echoing. But that isn't the most interesting thing that you hear. Not even almost. In fact, what really gets you is the glowing orange light, followed by the rolling of the massive tires, bringing in the recognizable silhouette of the bus as it slowly makes its way through the paddock and into the stall proper. As it comes to a slow halt, with Laz and Sophie staring forth upon it, we can see through the windshield where Barium and Orion stand looking out, with Mansour next to them. Mansour simply gives a nod and says, "That is unexpected."
You're fucking telling me.
Bjorn looks sick.
Bjorn smells sick.
As
alive.
Mansour gets in behind his companions and then opens up the side door on the bus. He steps off, stumbling slightly as he gets his legs back on the ground, and then walking in towards where you are. He looks behind himself to see if Orion and Barium are following after.
Right behind him.
Yeah, I'll follow in.
As you guys are walking up, Mansour looks to the one side, then the other, and then looks about towards the Toronado and says, "That is also unexpected." He walks in towards the vehicle and then looking back towards the bus and everything, not saying anything. He continues to inspect in to see what's inside the Toronado. What are Barium and Orion doing?
Barium was gonna say something until he saw the Toronado, and then he just kind of got lost in thought and went over there to look at it.
Great, we have two vehicles now.
Both Barium
Betty,
and
what do you
Orion.
make of this?
Sorry, both Barium and Orion can recognize the Toronado from the photos situated in the old man's hut so long ago now.
Ah, I recall this vehicle. This is the one that I died for. Oh, the irony. Now it's here. That old man was holding it up, wasn't he? Well, what is it doing here? Barry? What do you make of this?
Barium's just not gonna say anything because he's too distracted by studying the Toronado.
I'm assuming you're popping the hood and such and so forth.
Oh yeah.
All right. Basically, the fuel intake is on the back. It can take a barrel that is situated in there. You can see like there's a spare barrel, and then there's a tank underneath, so you can load the tank and then have an extra barrel that is another tank of fuel. And then the engine itself is actually another DSES valveless, just like the bus he used to have before it blew up. It looks like it's in great shape. The hood is not so much. You can see on the underside it's got some crazy endoskeleton that is made up of effectively these what's the word I'm looking for? Adjustable pieces of metal. They're like shit. What the hell is? They're like Meccano that are all screwed together to give the thing a pliable strength. Aside from this, you're not sure what metal they're made from. The tires are huge, thick contact patch tires, the kind of Mickey Thompson style that you would expect to see on mad pavements, save for the huge dirt gripping teeth that are molded into them. These things are huge, thick, fat, and toothy. Aside from that, the whole of it sits on some crazy suspension that you can see is currently compressed down. Just out of curiosity, you can reach underneath into the wheel well and adjust the suspension of the vehicle, lifting it up with a quick ratcheting of the lever on either side. And finally, the whole of it is covered in some rather thick plating just underneath the just against the superstructure, the endo. So the endoskeleton is just holding plates in behind the skin, making for a very armored vehicle. And other than that,
So
it's
while
spacious.
that's going on, Laz would be explaining to Mansoor kind of what the hell went on from his point of view in terms of the fight, losing everybody, what the hell happened with Sophie, and then how he ended up at the vehicle. He'd be kind of relaying that as he's standing next to him watching Barry look over the vehicle.
Sounds good. Mansoor listens intently, his hands in his sleeves, kind of doing one of these as he just listens to you. Yeah.
I'll walk up to Laz from behind and I'll poke him.
He turns towards you. Ah, you are alive.
What, you want to say hi?
Yes.
Where the fuck have you been?
I've been to the gates of death and back, my friend, and now I have returned.
Well, go teach Bjorn whatever trick you have, because he smells like death.
That is Bjorn.
Sleeping in the car.
As Mansoor looks you over and then looks over towards where you gestured to Bjorn, he simply says, "Perhaps the same amount of monies can afford us Bjorn's health as well. In the mean, we paid for Orion's return, and here he is, as promised. In the meantime, we have lost our Pasha. I have no sight of Hamid for quite some time now. And I am alarmed. Very alarmed."
Well, where'd you last leave him?
Sophie suddenly pipes up. All of the Pasha who are responsible for the destruction of so many lives have been taken. Mansoor simply looks over towards her, and you can see he takes his hands out of his sleeves and opens up his robe, revealing a blade at his belt that he puts his hand on the hilt of, and his other hand on his hip. He says, "What is this you speak? What is this you mean? Taken? Where?" And as the camera pans against you guys, I don't know who heard what I said there. As she said, all those Pasha who are responsible for so many lives being taken, so many lives destroyed.
What do you mean, Sophie?
Sophie looks over towards you and then looks at Mansoor, and Mansoor looks at you as Sophie can be heard saying, "There were many men who put money into mining operations. They attracted many people to places that they had no defense for." The camera pans against Mansoor's face as he raises an eyebrow at this, and then lowers his eyes, and then looks up in realization. "Yes, I recall Hamid talk of this. There was much coin to be had in this endeavor." He simply cocks his head as he regards this and thinks about it, not sure what to say. And Sophie continues. "All of them who were responsible for these futile losses, they were taken by Margister. They were taken to be used in influential plans of his," she simply says after a moment. The vizier, after a moment, simply looks up at her and says, "Where is our Pasha now?" She gives a shrug after a moment and says, "My book would say where Hamid Pasha is." At which point,
And where is your book?
Mansoor simply says, "His name is not His name is not Hamid Pasha. However, where is this book?" "Yes, Orion. Where is this book?"
North has it.
Z.
Yeah.
That's Scaly. It's still alive.
Now I know he's up on the roof. So
Tail just dangling down over the edge.
I'll go get it. I'm gonna go up to the roof and go start rifling through search shit to grab the book. I'm not trying to wake him
roll
up.
over and howl at myself, just
Bit of drool and a tongue hanging out.
Yeah.
That sounds fine.
Mumble something about honey pork chops and.
That said, you clamber your way up onto the structure. It's a rather flimsy lean-to that Sorth is situated on, and as you make your way up to the top, the chicken's clucking away underneath. You can make me a dex check to not cause the whole thing to collapse.
Alright, Dex. First one is 17 plus 2, 19, and yeah, we'll take the 19 because the other one's not so good.
You managed to get yourself clambered up onto the structure easily enough. It sways a little bit under your immense weight, but you rifle through Sorth's belongings for a brief second to find the rather large book easily enough. Situated right next to him, actually. It's like right there, but you're just going through his bag. Oh, it might be in here too. I don't know. Anyway, but no, you grab the hold of the book and make your way back down off of the structure without too much difficulty. Presenting it to whom, or what are you doing?
I'm presenting it to Mansoor. I'm not giving Sophie anything, and I'm keeping her within like arm's reach. I can snatch her up if I need to.
Mansoor, holding his arms back in his sleeves like this, looks towards you. He points towards Sophie. As Sophie steps in, gives an eyeball, and then holds out her hands to receive the book. As you hand her the immense volume, she looks up towards you and then towards Mansoor, and then starts flipping open the cover, and after a couple pages, gets to the section where there's just a bunch of names ledgered and various locations around the city. And the fellow looks she looks up at Mansoor, who says Al-Jabbar, Hamid Al-Jabbar. And after a moment's scan, she comes upon and simply says, he is here. He is being kept in the city, under the libraries. Mansoor looks over the list. He starts babbling a little bit in Kalashite. A moment later, Sophie responds back in a cutting tone. Mansoor increases his volume, raising his voice and providing as cutting a tone back, to which Sophie simply rolls her eyes and says something half-breathed, at which point Mansoor steps back like he's about to take a whip at her face with the back of his palm, but then holds himself steady and then gives an exhale and says, "It is true. There is much corruption."
What the fuck did you two just say? I only was able to have little bits and pieces. If you would speak in our language so we can understand, that'd be great.
As Mansoor steps away from her, and she looks up towards the lot of you, and then down towards where Orion is protesting for answers. She simply says, Tashburul is rife with corruption, and there are many peoples who are losing their culture to it, the great race, as well as the nobles and monies that corrupt this city. So, you wish to find your Pasha, this Hamid Al-Jabbar? This is where he is.
And how risky would this be?
With
If it's going to lead us to our demise.
With the disturbance you caused at the manor, I imagine Margister's plans, they are to be set in motion.
And what are his plans?
As he says it, the takeover of Teshburul, or the destruction otherwise. And so it is. At this point, I imagine he is moving his people upon the city. The Scarabs at this time, they will be making their play, their effort to take the city. For it is all that's left at this point. It is
I
either
don't give
that
a
or
shit about
nothing.
your city, but I want Rapasha back. You're going to help us get him.
As
She gives a nod at this.
You got to remember, I worked for the Pasha before I got told to follow you guys.
You don't even know if he's alive, Laz. I just came back. I don't want to dive into another death pit. Yorn is on his deathbed in there for all we know.
So were you. Mansoor, what are we doing?
Mansoor, he looks around for a moment, and then, folding his arms, gives a nod, and then pulls his blade out from in his belt, gives it a flip, and holding it aloft, puts it to his forehead, kind of Dune style, and then holds it forth and says, "We find our Pasha." And he flips the knife around and slots it back in his belt. "This is what we will do, and we will do it. But..." He looks over towards Sophie, And then he looks over towards the bus and Tornado. And he looks at all of you. And he says, "This will be dangerous." And he looks around for a moment and says, "But it seems that fate has deigned this to be what we must do for now. The race is not continuing without its racers. And the racers will not continue without the sponsors." He lowers his eyes for a moment. Sorry, go ahead.
Very well. If this is what we must do, then it must be done.
Ryan will turn and he'll start to walk towards the vehicle that Norm is sleeping in to go check on it.
It rumbles slightly with the snoring coming from inside. You can see your familiar, the familiar face and silhouette of your companions inside.
Can I check his pulse?
Yeah. You open up the door, take his wrist in your hand, and feel fucking nothing.
Can I take a big whiff of him?
When you open up the door, you got a whiff of him. It's not pretty. It's not nice. It's not great. It smells musty, kind of rotted. Just is.
Okay.
His skin in your hands feels kind of papery or leathery.
Okay, I'm gonna lick his forehead.
You do so. He tastes salty. Very salty. He doesn't move or react.
Is he breathing? Like
he's snoring.
Heaving up and down?
He's snoring, okay. But loudly.
Okay. Well, not being a doctor, I'll just assume that, you know, he's here, he's snoring. That means something's going on there, so I'll just take that as a good sign and I'll leave it be.
Sounds good. You back up away from your companion, who is not dead. Closing the door on Tornado, it shuts with a satisfying clunk and a click. The armored plates squeak together, sealing up the gaps. The camera pans against the paddock, showing the whole of you all together again. The moonlight shining down from overhead, the orange licking lights of fires in the distance from Teshburo proper, and Mansour's silhouette walking towards the bus, and his echoing voice muttering. He opens up the side door to the bus and climbs inside as the camera pans upwards and shows the horizon with the city in the distance and slowly crossfades to black. As the camera cuts back towards the paddock, we see Sophie cleaning up tools and looking towards the opening of the paddock. As we see silhouetted figures walking in, holding a few tools in their hands, one of them holding a small kit that looks like a basket with a bunch of bottles sticking out of it. The three figures walking in their coveralls, disheveled as they look, come into the paddock and look around. One of them gives a slow gasp, and another one starts to speak in Kalashite as the other one responds, "Yes, it does seem. Yes. Is this... Look. It is all of them." The mechanics returning back into the paddock, they make their way towards the bus, opening it up. The credits continue to roll as we hear Mansour murmuring and invited them inside. There's the clapping of hugging figures, welcoming one another back as a few of you stir, and the mechanics welcome you all, and then bury him as well. It cuts to black finally. The credits continuing to roll. Dobransky, would you like what you had was released?
I like that we finally got out of that death trap, but it sounds like we're going to be moving back into an even more brutal death one. I enjoyed Laz's like complete disregard for Sophie. He was just going like, all right, you're staying with us no matter what. Kick the fuel out of the way. Just follow her. That was pretty entertaining. I also enjoyed his lock picking skills. The fact that he just kind of like jammed it all together and was like, yep, this works.
20s, yeah. How do you like that shit? That's terrific.
I thoroughly enjoyed being able to stable a guy to the wall. I've been waiting to use that for a bit, and I thought it was just fun to try out. So it's cool to see how that played out. I'm excited to try it out in a more strategic play style. And yeah, overall, it's pretty good. It's good to get the band back together.
Right on. Cody, would you like what you was released?
I really liked everything in this one. There's a lot to like. Just kind of deepen the mystery of what the hell's going on. Like, I still can't put it all together. All I know is that we have to go get our Pasha. Hopefully he's alive, and we're not going anywhere until we do. Yeah, I just like how we got all the crew back together.
Did you get the motivation there? Did you get the motivation and the reference there?
Yes. Like you mean referencing from the other campaign?
No, not Margister. I mean, the whole thing about the mining and the nobles destroying lives and all that. Did you guys catch any of that? Like, do you guys
yeah,
get
she
the
was
reference?
working with the rebels.
Oh. Okay, now I'm getting it. Kind of, okay. So you have the... trying to put it all together. What path were you taking with that? What connection were you trying to make there?
So there was just a point historically where you guys were talking to the Pasha and he was very excited because he was making an investment.
Right.
He was making an investment in a mining colony, if you guys recall.
Right. Okay.
So a while ago now.
Yeah, that was way
I mean, in real life terms, it's months ago, and in game terms, it was last week.
We all have goldfish memory.
It is what it is. As we were, though. See, I was just wondering if you guys remember that, or if I made that obvious enough or blatant enough that you guys remember it, or...
I do remember it now. Connecting the dots now.
Wondering who might have it in their notes. But that said...
the 129 pages of notes don't lie.
Holy. That's big.
Control F mining.
That's a big.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big document. Sorry to interrupt.
No. It's all good. But yeah, I'm interested to see where Bjorn goes. Because I don't know if he's dead or dying or what's going on there.
He's God touched.
Yeah, just the flesh
Blessed.
wound, I guess, right? Yeah, there was nothing that I didn't like. The chase scene with Laz was amazing. Really like that. And I'm seeing a more abrasive Laz, which is interesting. I don't know if that's intended character change or just the situational one, but it's interesting.
I'm on the stairs changed him.
Yeah. The battle on the stairs.
Everyone's got an
The
arc.
last stand, he came back a new man. Yeah. It was great.
Right on. Yeah, Summer. Would you like what you hate was Rubens least?
I had a real love-hate thing with Sophie. She was a lot of fun with how frustrating she was. So things like leading us all the way back there without having the key, not being sure to turn on, not warning us that we gave it no gas, like all those little things were just like infuriating but really funny. And I really like that we all managed to end up together. I'm excited to go on a mission to save our boss.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Rick, what'd you like? What'd you wrote least?
I loved Chaos. I mean, Sophie. Just loved her fucking with everybody. I just think it's hilarious. Obviously, the group getting back together finally after forever is going to be nice. There was one thing I wanted to do, but I think I'll save that for next session. Involves, bringing Sophie onto the bus for the Mechanai.
Yeah.
Because I think she would like to see that. But I'm excited to see what we have to do to find Hamid.
It's gonna be a journey, that one.
Oh, I can't wait for it.
Right on. Ben, what'd you like? What was your least?
I like the whole like lock picking scene where we had to open a lock. I rolled terribly like usual, but like Laz just busted the entire thing with a bunch of scrap. It was amazing.
Right on. And Sean, what'd you like? What did you hate? What was your favorite part? And what did you like the least?
I loved absolutely everything about this. It was definitely a little bit of marriage counseling for me, as a guy who deals with cars all the time, and had a wife who called him and said she had a flat tire and realized she had driven about 1.5 miles on a flat tire and shredded fucking everything. The whole concept of a woman leading you to a garage without a key, without a door opener, then driving it without gas, and having driven past the fuel supplies. This was cathartic, so I appreciate it. I don't know if you knew my background. No, it was actually really good. I think it was kind of nice to flex that mental muscle for Laz. That if you remember the line from Full Metal Jacket, where he's talking about the big ugly guy, and he's like, he's absolutely fine as long as you're throwing bombs at him. I feel like that's exactly what Laz is about. Like, when shit hits the fan is when he is only thinking about combat. Like, it's strictly like, we're here and we need to get out of here. Like, his dealing with everybody else, or his dealing with Sophie, was strictly about self-preservation. There was nothing else to that. Like, the thoughts about trying to do things was simply, we need to get out of here. Like, trying the lock-picking thing was just, everyone else is failing, we need a car to get out of here, and that was it. It wasn't like a stroke of brilliance on his part. It was just, this is tactically how he gets out of here and gets on to the next thing. And even up to this point of like getting the Pasha and everything else, I think the background of Laz having worked for the Pasha before being asked to keep an eye on the crew plays into him wanting to, like, hey, if there's a chance to get the Pasha, we're going to get him. And I liked all the little pieces that fed into that, like the fact that I grabbed a hunk of the fuel and threw it in my pocket to show barium. All those little things coming and rolling back into it was actually a ton of fun for this. So yeah, it was fun to really exercise that piece of it, and I hope I did it well within character. So it's a lot of fun.
Glad everybody had fun. Everybody had fun?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. I liked the pacing of it. I liked the way it undulated. I liked getting through the location. I liked the payoffs that we had on some of the elements that were missing said payoffs. Orion not being with you meant you guys didn't actually have the key to the garage and Tornado, oddly enough, unless somebody else stole that key off of him and forgot that they had it.
Okay, we were talking about that because
yeah, I seen you guys typing away furiously. That imagine that's.
We all felt like a little bit dumb because we're like, I know we have this key, but the four
Who
people
has
who were
it?
there didn't. It ended up being Barry who took it off of Ryan.
Yep.
We're like, oh shit.
As it were. Yeah, the pacing was good. The payoffs were good. Some of the setups that I've got now are really good. Yep, that does suck, Rosie. So that really sucks. And all in all, I think I can't wait for this next section. I think it's hilarious that Margister has the staying power he does. And more to the point, that it is continuing to develop the way it is. And dare I say, is more and more exciting, actually, as a result. So I'm looking forward to developing this further. Otherwise, everyone can take 2,200 experience. And I'd say that's a pretty job well done for this evening. So right on. Next session. Hey.
Are we getting a long rest here or no?
Yeah, I was gonna say next session starts after a long rest for everybody. So if you're leveling up, go ahead and level up. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see you guys next Monday. Same D&D time, same D&D channel.
Sounds good.
Right on, Jess.
Thanks, Dooley.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
A lot of fun, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, Dooley.
Cheers, all.
Bye.
And if you like what you see, we stream every Monday from about 7:30 until whenever we finish, which is at this point about 10:40 Pacific. It's been my pleasure once again to be your dungeon master, entertainer, and with the palette of personalities that is my plethora of players, I thank you for joining us for another exciting adventure, evening of. And until next time, may your 20s always land on 20. Have yourselves a great night, everybody.